Hello, I'm David, and my question is to the Premier as well. Let me stand up.
Yeah, please do.
Like Margaret, was it? The first questioner may have something to do with the hair colour. My question's about debt as well. So in terms of the perhaps the demographic, I'm lucky enough to be comfortably retired, so the hip pocket issues like education, health, don't worry me so much, but what does worry me is the things that will affect my grandkids. And so the government debt issue is one of the ones that I'm interested in you convincing me that you have a genuine commitment to reducing debt and bringing the budget into some semblance of balance. I note that your positive plan is primarily about spending, and I think in this sort of increasing age of entitlement, where people think the government owes them something all of the time, that it's a lot easier for politicians to promise and spend than it is to deliver hard decisions. So perhaps if you could convince me about...
No, it was David, wasn't it?
That's right.
David, thank you for your question, and thank you for your obvious concern and interest in not just now but into the future. I think I've probably demonstrated to Victorians that I'm able to make very hard decisions, really, really difficult decisions. You can do the popular thing or you can do the right thing, and I always try and do the right thing, and we've had to do that in extraordinary ways over these last couple of years. And I'm so grateful to Victorians for coming with us and getting through a really tough time. In terms of borrowings, it's about what you borrow the money for. So we paid out $12 billion worth of business support during that 1 in 100 year pandemic. That was borrowed money, just like credit where it's due. Scott Morrison and the JobKeeper program was critically important. That was all borrowed money as well. And that's an extraordinary thing to do. I will never forget the Governor of the Reserve Bank, Philip Lowe, at a National Cabinet meeting very early on saying, you guys, you all need to borrow, you need to invest, otherwise this economy is going to collapse. We're going to finish up with 20-25% unemployment and thousands of people will not find a new job for years, and there will be such damage. Now, that's not to say that what we've been through has been easy. The other thing too, of course, is not just emergency funding, if you like, but it's about the infrastructure, road, rail, big projects, and small ones too, that make our economy bigger. That's what we've been doing these last 8 years. And just as some of those repayments will be made by generations to come, so will the benefits of things like Metro Tunnel, things like the North East Link, things like the suburban rail loop. 6 stations, 22-minute journey from Cheltenham to Box Hill, 70,000 trips a day. Now that is this will soon be the biggest city in our nation, and that's what we need. That's what we need. We're not cancelling that project, we're getting on and delivering it. There's also quite a few jobs involved in that. Now, you mentioned surplus. The Independent Department of Treasury and Finance has confirmed in the pre-election budget update that we will deliver a surplus. And that's the first step. We've set up a future fund, an offset account if you like, and portions of those future surpluses will go into that future fund to help us manage the cost of those borrowings. So if you borrow to build and make the place bigger, make the economy bigger, then that's money well spent. If you borrow in emergencies because there's simply no choice, then that's using the state's balance sheet and budget to support families and businesses. And that's exactly what we did.
Premier, the Standard & Poor's, the credit rating agency, said that Victoria is at the weakest fiscal position than any state over 40 years. Just to follow David's question, I'll get Matthew Guy's response. Is this the time to be having a big spending election campaign?
Well, I just want to make one further point in relation to spending. We've committed about $11-12 billion worth of additional spending. I think Matthew's commitments are quite a lot more than that, like closer to 30. So we're putting forward a positive plan, yes, but we're also delivering that budget surplus because it's very important. That's how we start to turn things around. So that surplus is important, and that's not just me saying it. That's the Independent Department of Treasury and Finance have signed off on that, and that was in the pre-election budget update issued under Victorian law just a couple of weeks ago.
Let's get Mr Guy's response to David's question and to the follow-up. Thanks.
David, and all of you ladies and gentlemen, I'd say you should be very aware of politicians telling you you can have everything, because we can't. In life and even in politics, we have to make tough decisions. And tough decisions is about saying what can we afford at this point in time, because we can't do everything. My priority to you is to say that the biggest issue in this state at the moment is fixing our health system. When 33 Victorians die waiting for an ambulance, you know we have a problem with our health system. When a 7-year-old last week can't get in for chemo treatment, we have a problem with our health system. So yes, I'm going to take all of the government's committed money from the Box Hill to Cheltenham Underground Railway line, and I'm going to put all of that into health. It means I can't do one, but I am going to fix the other, because it's about choices, and governments have to make hard choices. Yes, it's a hard choice to take the money and put it somewhere else, but to me, fixing the health system is the priority. For you, for me, for my parents, my children, for your neighbours and yourselves. And I just say it again, we've got more debt in this state than New South Wales, Queensland and Tasmania combined. They went through COVID too, and we started at 20 and we're now at 165.9. You can't have everything, and be wary of politicians who tell you you can.